We grew up in a typical African household where, everybody answers to daddy and mommy must take permission from daddy. You see your child warm up to a stranger, a total stranger, and you start to feel bad. You don't know me like this person does. You don't understand me. You don't see me like this person does. Because there's this weird thing where our parents are not close to us at all. And then when we get to a certain age, they're forming besties. Like, do I know you?
Hey there, family. It's time to rewrite narratives that shape family life. This is the Family Journal.
Family members, I'm here again, and today I have someone special with me. Her name is Favor Noah, but I call her Faye. She's my baby girl, and she's here to gist us based on our previous topic. We talked about communication in family life and how it has negatively and positively affected lives all over the world. So, my baby girl, please can you introduce yourself to the rest of the community?
Hello.
Please don't be
Hi. Hi.
dramatic.
Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm
I'm
so
happy.
excited to be here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Like she said, my name is Favor Samuel Noah. Thank you so much for having me here at the Family Journal. I love you so much.
How are you doing? How do you feel being on the Family Journal today?
I'm okay. I'm really good. I'm fine. Thank you. I think being here is just really humbling because I mean I see what the Lord is doing here, and it's just really, mind blowing that, you know, I'm here. And of course I'm here to learn as well, because we're at the other end of, everything that's happening here on the Family Journal. So we're only following and we're seeing all of the things on social media. So being here, it's really humbling. I think that's just the word I have for it. But
All right. And truly, we are glad to have you. So,
thank you.
the first question I have for you is like, how will you describe communication in your family generally?
I would say that it is so much better now. I'm not married. So the only family I have right now would be, my family, as in my biological family. That's my dad, my mom, my siblings. And our communication right now is really, really good. I think with what we've learned from the family unit, and just that has really influenced how I communicate with every other person in my life right now. And it's really, really good. I think my parents did a good job, and they're still doing a good job with making sure that we have a good communication system that works, right? Especially now that most of us are adults and we are staying in different places, right? It's knowing that we've built something so strong, and even as we're far away now, we can always still communicate with each other. I think that's a blessing for sure. So yeah, I would say that it is really, really, really good.
Would you describe your relationship, or should I say the communication you guys have in your family, like when you were a child? Would you say it was smooth? Would you say you could easily go to mommy or daddy to say something, or were there moments of silence?
Right.
Like you want to say something, but you can't say it because you don't know how
Mhm.
they're going to react.
Yeah, for sure. Like I if you heard what I said earlier, it's like I'm seeing a lot of right now. I'm really grateful to God for the growth that I and my family we've witnessed over the years, because growing up, it was nothing like this. So we grew up in a typical African household where, everybody answers to daddy and mommy must take permission from daddy before we do. So it was this kind of household where
Mhm.
all of us as the children, we feared my dad. So daddy just needs to say something. He just has to say something once, and all of us were scoring, right? We grew up in that kind of household, so where fear was the dominant thing. As you can already imagine, it wasn't so good, because you don't want to, raise a child in a space where they are fearful, because that brings a lot of silence, to be honest, on the part of the child, whereas like I don't know how they'll react if I tell them this. I don't know how they'll react if I don't tell them this. So it's a lot of emotions, and as children most times you don't even know how to handle, you don't know what to do with that emotion, you don't know what to do in that situation. So if in that kind of vulnerable situation you maybe come across the wrong person and you're giving a terrible advice, it could lead to something very dangerous, right? So I think it was not the same. Definitely where we are right now in my family, it's not the same at all like where we were like years ago when we were kids, because we were not close to each other. I mean, one would say we were close to each other, right? But you that is there living in it, we're not at all. It was just the whole, I don't know if you're familiar with dictatorship. It's like there's only
Yeah.
one
Now
master
people
in
wait
this
there inside know
house.
what they talk.
Right? There's only one master in this house, and only him shall you listen to. So it's like, so what's the need of speaking up if I know that I will not be heard? So it was that kind of structure back then. But yeah, it's not the same at all. It's not the same. That's why I started off by saying thank God, because it's so much better now. Like, you can open your voice, you can open your mouth rather, they can speak up. Even if most times, you still have their influence of, yeah, yeah, at least they are hearing you, you know. It's really it's so much better now than when we were kids, for sure. And yeah, I'm just grateful for that, because it wasn't always as pleasant.
Hmm. Okay, so how would you say being in an environment where your voice was, muffled for some time, like how would you say it affected you?
That question is just it just touched the nerve, because it did affect me, to be honest. And I think later on, I think in my teenage years, the Lord gave me an opportunity to expose that feeling to my parents, right? They were receptive of it, right? Which I'm grateful for. But the thing that does to you is that you begin to doubt yourself even before you even have an idea of who you are. So as a child,
Yeah.
right, you're learning about yourself, you're growing, and you're trying to get this idea of, okay, what do I like, what don't I like? But silence and just that void, what it does is that you just have this self-doubt. So you don't even, I don't even know how to put it, like even before you start believing yourself, you don't believe in yourself. Even before you even know what believing in yourself means, you don't believe in yourself. So you're going outside into the world.
Mm,
Let's say, like for me now that I got into the university and I'm seeing all of these confident people, I don't know what that is. That is like, people are really bold. Like someone is doing something to you that you don't like, and you are seeing somebody saying, hey, I don't like that. But in my case, I'm like, I'll probably just walk away, or even be the one to apologize to you, because I'm used to just being in that place where if you don't like something, keep quiet. This is the way it's supposed to be, right?
mm,
So in a lot
mm,
of ways it shapes you so much, and it's so sad because these are the building and the foundational years of your life. Except the Lord helps, that's what I like to say, except the Lord helps you, these things form you for life. So you see a fully grown woman and man, and they are still very insecure about their identity. They don't know who they are, they don't know what to say, they don't know how to speak up, right? Because there's something that went wrong when they were
very true.
building. So I think it affected me a lot. If I'm to speak for myself, it did. But thank God for people and just opportunity. And like I said, the opportunity to expose that to my parents and also like, listen, you guys, this is what has happened in the course of this relationship. And of course the resentment comes in, right? Because now you're pushing everybody away. Like you feel like you're, even
Yeah.
with the little that you are your only safe space, right? So you don't want to open up to people, you don't want to talk to anyone about what you're struggling with, you don't want to do any of that, because you feel like, oh, that would always be met with violence, or that will always be met with shut up, or that will always be meant with the one push or the other. So you rather just stay in the comfort of your own self. So in a lot of ways it limits you, for sure, because you don't want to be in a place where someone is constantly telling you in your ear that, oh, your opinion matters to me, but then when it's time to air that opinion, you're told to keep quiet or don't speak up or it's not relevant. With time, that really builds up and messes up someone. So
Thank you so much for sharing like that delicate part of your life because I mean, you're talking about your formative years and how it affected you as a young adult. So thank you for sharing. So I hope parents are listening. The formative years of a child's life is very, very important. And whatever happens within that period can mold or break that child as the child, moves through life. So who would you say was the peace talker in your family? Who is that person that whenever fight wants to break out, the person will just use peace? The person just immediately they open their mouth, there is peace. Who is that person in your family?
it's so funny. And listen, I'm not even trying to blow my own horn, but I think it's me, right? Because if we look at my siblings, I'm not even joking. I'm the child that my parents will call to go and talk to. When like mommy and daddy are having issues with another child in the family, like I'm the one that they will be
Wow.
coming to. Do you understand? like, "Babe, have you spoken to your brother? Babe, have you spoken to your brother?" Me that second born. So imagine when your father is calling you to talk to you about your elder brother. Then now tell you go and talk to him. I talk to him as well, sir. What exactly you want me to go and say? So I would say for my parents it's actually really, really like dicey because if they are having the problem with me, they can go to anybody. She gets. But I think they always just try to see their part and see this other person's part. You get because among siblings, right? There's this relationship that we share, and you don't want to break that. So,
True,
but
true.
somebody also has to understand with the parents as well. So remember when I left for service, one instance that happened, and my dad got into it with my elder brother, and imagine them calling me in another state, and they're like, "Go and call your brother," and then so this is me outside. I remember I went out that day and I'm standing outside the building because I had to come out. I'm calling my brother on this other hand. I'm calling my parents and I'm passing information. I'm like, what is this? What's happening? These people, you cannot just settle. You understand? So I think when I sit back and I remember those times, it's just really funny to me because I'm like, what were you people even arguing about? Why was I brought in? Like, why was I there? Like if they're talking about family matters here is my elder brother, but if they have issues with my siblings, it's always me. It's always me for sure. Yeah.
Peace talker. Okay. All right. Have you ever gotten in trouble for saying something at home? I believe all of us have gotten in trouble for saying something. But did you have you ever said something very awkward and then it got you into a lot of trouble, either with your dad or with your mom?
Oh my gosh. Yes. And there's one that's coming to my mind right now, and I'm going to air my dad. He knows I love him so dearly, but I have to say this because this is the only one coming to my mind right now. He'll be very fine. I love you, daddy, in case you ever get to hear this. Uh so I remember there's one time, right? I went for this wedding. They came for that wedding as well. And I don't know, for some reason they did not see me there because I was in the train, the bridal train. So by the time I came to meet them after we had danced out with the bride and everything, they
Okay.
left. Right. So I couldn't see them. After the wedding, I tried calling him. Nobody was picking my call. I could tell, like, oh, my dad is upset. Right. So I got this text message, and there's this my dad's signature word, shalom. After every text he sends for me, it says shalom. So I got this text message. I read, you gave us the impression that you'll be going for this wedding and you did not go. Da, 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 da. Shalom. I say, hey, I'm finished too. So I tried
At least
calling.
he added the shalom.
So I guess I was trying to reach out to him to just explain that, listen, oh, no be so they do for wedding, oh, you have to make sure that the bride is settled. You cannot just I'm trying to explain everything to him, right? And he goes, why will you be acting stupid? And he said that over the phone. And of course he was upset, right? So I got home, and I'm trying to, explain everything to him. And I was like, and daddy, you even said I was stupid. You said Hey, my father just turned and looked. Why would you be acting like that? Why are you stupid? Right? So he said that in anger and he's just shouting, shouting, and that stuck with me. Remember, all of this is just, with the result of everything that we grew up seeing. So when I went back
Mm,
home, I'm telling him, no, daddy, you even, while we're down trying to settle everything and explaining to him, like, I was there at the wedding. I even showed them pictures. See me and the bride now. You get, I was telling him that I saw you guys when you went to give offering, but I cannot come and meet you because I'm in the bridal train. I can't just move around like that. I'm explaining. And I was like, Daddy, you even called me stupid. And it felt like the whole situation was dying down, right? Because, I kind of have a weight in my dad's heart. But as I just said that thing, it felt like I just added fuel to fire. And he just got so mad. Like, what you mean I called you stupid? Am I
wow.
not? Ah, Jesus. I did not. I don't understand how that conversation went from very mild to like 100 real quick. Ah, gosh. I remember just standing there and crying. I ran to my room and I just slept. I was like, God, I was just crying, crying, crying. Because I was like, I'm just a
Wow.
child. You know what was so sad? It was that there was someone that came to, I think there's this family friend that used to come around sometime. She's an auntie, right? And as I asked her, I was like, Daddy, you said we should not be calling anybody stupid, but you called me stupid. And he got so upset with that. Do you know the woman was not saying, is he not your father? Is he not your father?
You
And
said
this girl.
what?
And I'm like, and what does she mean? Is he not your father? I'm like, are there rules for this thing? Like, okay, my father can call me stupid, but nobody else should call
Wow.
me stupid. I shouldn't even call my siblings stupid, but my father can call me stupid, right? And it's just, I think that's like the only instance that's coming to mind because I know I got in so much trouble. I like my dad was mad at me, so I don't know also if it was the way I said it, right? Or maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it in that situation. Of course, wisdom is to be applied, but whatsoever the reason
Mm,
is, at that point, I think I was like 20 or 21. But at that age, I'm literally just like, you said we shouldn't do this. Why are you doing it? Right? Because he didn't say you're stupid. He just said, are you stupid? But I'm like, you shouldn't even be. If you're telling me to abstain from something, I should not see it in you, right? But hey, we're humans and we have
yeah.
these days, right? So I think I've just come to give it a lot of grace. But at the time, it did not make sense to me. Why would you say we shouldn't do something and you're doing it? And then to hear someone say, oh, is it not your father? Can't he do? I'm like, okay, right. So now you know that thing where it's like, okay, so trauma is good if it's coming from family. Got it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay,
okay,
let's
let's
play
assume bad
to
behavior is coming from family.
you.
Okay, right. So yeah, I think that's one example in my head. But I love you, Daddy. I love you so much. I know you did not mean it. You were angry. I think that's the one vivid example I can remember, where I tried to, speak up, and I was again met with the, nah, you shouldn't have said that. Blah. But yeah, I think that's it.
It's crazy. And one thing I've been trying to do with children in the children's church, in fact, virtually every child I come across, if I notice or once I notice that you use vulgar language or just abusive language, I would definitely speak to you about it. I hate when people use those kinds of words because words are seeds, and whether it's a negative word or a positive word, it will definitely yield fruit. So
True.
all you need to do is nurture it. It's definitely going to yield fruit. So that's
Very
very
true.
sad. The lady who was supporting your father's
Never go there, man.
because I mean, naturally, like visitors, whether related by blood or not, they'll
Right.
try to,
Mm-hmm.
calm fire, but she's adding to it
No, she.
because she's making him seem like what he's doing is right.
Right.
Because a lot of persons will say, that, sir, calm down. Just she's a child. They'll say things like that to
Oh
calm
yeah.
the fire. Ha.
And I just want to say though, what you said about, these words having impacts on the person that it's being said to is so real. I know that someone of that I respected so much in my life has called me slow before. And I remember going back and
Wow.
And I went back and I was crying about it. This thing messed in my head so much for days. It was like, I'm slow. I'm slow. And I remember praying to God about it, and I was telling the Holy Spirit, like, this person called me slow. And me and you, we know that this thing is affecting me badly, right? It's like, and do you know what he said? He said, how many times did somebody say you are blessed? How many times did you go back and think about it? You just said
Mm.
amen and passed. Did you ever go back to think about, oh, you are blessed, the Lord will bless you, the Lord will did you ever? And I'm like, ooh, that's crazy. And he said, so why are you thinking so? Why is it the negative one? Can't you see what the devil is doing? Right? And I think that shaped my mind forever, because it's like we pay more attention to the negative thing, which again boils down to, how
Yeah.
much we know these things. So it's we're paying so much attention to the lies that we are being told, to someone saying you are this, you are that, you are, but is we are paying less attention to the things that the Lord has said concerning you, where he has said, oh, I'll bless your mind, you're a fruitful field. All of the things that God has said about you, you don't even pay attention to it. So that one is like normal. But the one bad thing you hear, you're picking it and you're running with it. So I think that changed my mind forever. So it's almost like if anybody is saying anything bad, I mean, I have those days where it's like, I struggle with it. But I think at the back of my mind, I just remember that, hey, I'm blessed, right? The Lord has blessed my mind, so I cannot even be slow. It's not possible for me to be slow. I can't have the Holy Spirit inside of me and be slow. I cannot. So I do these things and I say these things to myself, and before you know it, you're out of that place, right? So I think we should really be very, like, we should be very careful, with the words we utter, because these things destroy people. Like, I've heard of situations where they've told someone, I wish you were dead, and they will go and kill themselves, because it's like,
Exactly.
sometimes we'll just say these things casually, but you don't know the phase that that person is going through. Maybe they are struggling with this, or maybe they've been having suicidal thoughts, and you just say that, I wish you were dead. I wish you were not in my life anymore. And they just take that so personal and go and do what they want to do,
True.
right? So I think as humans, we should be really, really cautious. If what we said happened immediately, like, a lot of people would be out of this world, right? So I think we should count our words. We should
Yeah.
think about our words before they come out. I just wanted to chip that in there.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate you. Next question I have for you is, what's that one thing that you wish mom and dad said often?
Wow. I would really say, please tell your kids how much they mean to you. I speak with young girls as well, and you would be very surprised how many of them think that they are not loved at home, because the
Mm-hmm.
parents don't tell them. There's this weird dynamic here in Nigeria. I'm not really
Yeah,
conversant with how it is abroad, but here in Nigeria, our parents have a certain love language, and they feel like, okay, if they are fulfilling this, then they know that they love their kids, or they are taking care
exactly.
of them.
Pay your school
So
fees, giving you
if
food.
yeah, if I'm giving you shelter, you have water, have food to eat, you have clothes to wear, you have all of these things, you are catered for and you are loved by force, right? So I can be doing all of these things for you, but as a child, it's like, to me, that's not it though. Right? I still need my emotional needs to be met, especially at that young age. Because listen,
Mm-hmm.
I cannot tell you how many times I pray and I tell God, I was like, God, I tell God, like, even with everything that I know now, even with everything that I think I want to do different, help me, because it is like it happens for real when you get there. You would not know fully till you're actually experiencing it, right? So I don't have a child of my own yet, but I pray every day and I'm like, God, please let it be that when I get to this point, all this knowledge, all these things that I think I know, God, let it be practical. Because
Amio.
as parents, we need to, amen, be vocal about it. Like, let them see, let them hear, let them know. Don't tell your child that you love them so much and like your every other thing you're doing is like contrary, right? Figure out, like, know about your child. right? Know the things that interest them and like that makes their little hearts giggle. So that you know when you do those things, they warm up to you, right? Because there's this weird thing where our parents are not close to us at all, and then when we get to a certain age, they're forming besties. Like, do I know you? You see your child, you see your
Sorry.
child, you see your child warm up to a stranger, a total stranger, and you start to feel bad. But it's like you don't know, like you don't know me like this person does. You don't understand me. You don't see me like this person does. Let me just share this. My mom is a retired nurse, and I remember when we were growing up, we'll go to the hospital when she would be on like maybe shifts, and we're going to pick her up or we're going to see her off, and we would see everybody at the hospital. Like we've seen instances where the patients at the hospital they refuse to take their meds if my mom was not there. So even when she was not on duty, sometimes she would drive down to work just so that people could take their meds. That's how that's how close. So everybody in the world, once we arrive like this, they're calling her, "Oh, welcome, mama, welcome." Like everyone loved her so dearly. I'm currently talking with one of her nurses that trained under her that she's now outside the country. But that's how close the woman loved my mom, and she became like an auntie to us, right? So my mom
Mhm.
was this loved nurse outside, and then we'll go to drop her. And we're like, we cannot leave. It's like, she's like,
Exactly. I
everybody
wanted to
loved
ask, like,
you.
why is it that Nigerian parents are very nice to outsiders more than their children? Why?
And but you know the funny thing though, it's not even as if maybe she's not even doing it deliberately, right? But she's just maybe because she's working as a nurse in the
Mm,
hospital, so she knows she has to be emotionally available. You have to be there for these patients that are probably fighting for their lives, right? So they warm up to that. But your kids are home and they're barely seeing you, number one. Number two, when you get back, you're tired and you're exhausted, you're stressed from work. So they are the ones that are picking up the pieces of, all of the things that you've given out, yourself that you've given out, they're now picking up pieces.
mm,
When you come back, it's errands. You're not taking out time like, oh, how was school? What happened today? What did you like it's we're now left with the crumbs, which is heartbreaking, whereas it's the family that you're supposed to be building. So when we come out there and we see strangers, warm up to you and they're so nice to you and you people are just enjoying yourself, we're like, where do we stand in this? It's really, really, really heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because when you 90% of the girls, the teenage girls I speak with, most of them do not feel loved at home. And when that happens, there is a void. Trust me, that void will be filled up if someone else does not get to them on time. If someone else does not speak the truth to them. I've spoken to young teenage girls where they are already at the verge of getting into something dangerous, just because this person is
mm,
showing them some sort of attention that they are not getting at home, or this person is getting them stuff that they are not getting. It's really crazy. That is why we have to do what we do, right? Because you're speaking and you're exposing the lies of the enemy. Your parents love you. They might not just be loving you the way you think you should be loved, but just things that can be done to make sure that we bridge that gap. Because these years, man, like they can easily. I think they used to say that a teenager, when a child gets to the teenage age, they hate their parents. But the thing is, at that point in their life, it's a deciding point, a defining moment in their life, and there are a lot of questions that needs to be answered. And if the parent is not available to answer that, someone else will answer it. We should really tell our kids, like, we love them, make them, be there with them, like, be their friends for real. Because it's not something magical that will just happen, that okay, when they turn a certain age, they'll just warm up to you and be nice to you all of a sudden, and we'll all become besties all of a sudden. It doesn't work that way. Relationships takes time. It doesn't matter if you are my mom and my dad. Oh, I respect you for bringing me into this world, but
yeah.
trust me, if it's someone else doing the hard work that you're refusing to do, then for sure that person would always come before you. It's really that simple.
Thank you so much. That was really important. I love when you said if the parents don't teach their kids, someone else is teaching them. I've said this thing a lot. Whatever it is you're not doing, there's someone that is doing it outside, because human beings have needs and the needs must surely be satisfied one way or another. I've asked this question previously, even in some of the videos. I've said, would you prefer your child confide in a child just like them who is limited instead of confiding in you who has seen life better than them? So it's not like the situation of a blind man leading another blind man.
Right.
So they don't create safe spaces for kids. They will never be vulnerable. They will never say what's on their mind. And you end up, seeing kids who are getting into trouble because if parents are upfront, I'm telling you that some people will make better decisions. And this is not to say that, because we have families where parents are still upfront, yet the kids do the wrong things. Yes, we have external influences, but that does not stop any parent from being emotionally available, whether
Yeah.
male or female. So I really loved your response. It was in depth. And then we indirectly entered one of my questions. Why is it that Nigerian parents are very nice to outsiders some of the time? Like some people say, your mother is so nice. Your father is, and you be wondering, wait, though, is it the same person I am living with at home? Because ah, ah, and
Mm-hmm.
there's this thing that happens when somebody finally has a child. Their parents are nicer to the grandchildren than the children,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh
Mm-hmm.
God, where have I gone wrong? So, like,
Right.
what is the problem? Nigerian parents, can you answer us? Like, what is the problem? Is it a badge you people collect before you enter parenthood?
They're
So
in the
let's
same
know.
WhatsApp group.
Exactly. So let's know, let us avoid it so that we will not have it because we are trying to do things differently this time. Because have you ever told your mom something very important and she responds with, hey, yeah.
I wouldn't even say she said a yow, but I would say that she did not understand how deep whatever I just told her
Now only you are come.
was. Oh my gosh. If you know me, and I know you do, whenever I'm having a conversation with someone, I think I love their attention. There had situations where I'm trying to get a message across to her that this thing is important, or but is either she's doing something else or she's not. She doesn't think it's that deep, but it's deep to me. And the truth is, what happens is after that, I just withdraw because I see that you're clearly not interested in what I'm saying. I've even I think I shared this with you as well. So I think this one happened like a few months ago, right? And I'm trying to have this deep conversation with her about, how a decision that we made last year really changed a lot of things in my life and how and she just denied the whole thing in my front. Like, mommy, I'm trying to have a conversation with you. And then I just remembered again. Well, let me just rest.
Let's
At
rest.
this point, this one is never hearing me. I think I want to also celebrate my mom because she really tries. She tries to listen. My mom listens. I think over time our relationship has just evolved and has become really beautiful. Really beautiful. I tell people now that there's nothing I can't tell my mom.
Oh, that's
Like,
amazing.
if I've done something wrong, I'll just be like, Mommy, see, I want to tell you something. No, don't overreact because I know that me, I took my dramatic traits from her. So I was like, don't overreact, but yeah, this is it. Oh. Yeah, so I think to right now, she's doing an amazing job. I love you so much, mommy. Mwah.
This is
Yeah.
really so beautiful to hear. To
Mm-hmm.
have a parent who listens, it's a blessing. Because last week on the podcast, we talked about effective communication and active listening,
Right.
where you're giving the next person audience. Like you want to
Mm-hmm.
understand, even if you don't agree with the person, just letting the person know that their feelings are valid, that what
Mm-hmm.
they are saying, it's okay. Okay, you're a
Right.
human being. I understand you, I get you. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessarily about agreeing with them, but seeing the world from their eyes. So I really love that she's present. I so
Mm-hmm.
much love it for you. And I wish
Mm.
like most parents can be present. Because I
Amen.
mean the word is hard enough, honestly. the,
Yeah.
the next thing is for you to come back home after a crazy day and
Mm.
or you can even call someone like I don't know, this is the way I expect family to be.
Yeah.
You know, your stressed, you can call home and say, I'm so
Mhm.
stressed, this is happening, that is happening, and somebody
Yeah.
can tell you you're going to be fine. Or maybe when they see
Mhm.
you, just give you a warm hug and
Oh my
ah,
gosh, yes.
just so
Yes,
much peace. And,
I've experienced that. Like, there was this
mhm.
particular time that I was in so much pain, and I remember just coming home and I just laid on the floor there and was crying. Like, I was crying so much because I didn't understand the pain. And it's for everybody that does not know me. Let me just be vulnerable with you. I am a crier, okay? I will cry.
Dramatic.
One thing favor will do is favor will do what? Cry. And I'm just on the floor and I'm crying. And my mom walks into the room. So usually, whenever she sees you down like that, she tries to, cheer you up. Oh, I'm talking about this and I have tears in my eye because it's crazy.
Oh my
So
God.
she would try to, cheer you up to get you out of, the pain. So at the point, she didn't even know what was wrong. She just saw me crying there. And my mom literally sat with me on the floor and was just patting me on the back. Like, that
Mm,
moment was so beautiful because I think at this that at that time, because it's been years now, but at that time, like, that was one of the pointers to me that this woman is actually, evolving into someone very beautiful emotionally. Like, at that moment, she was just there with me in that pain, before
yeah.
we she allowed me cry and just allowed me, regain myself. When I felt her touch, like, it was so comforting. Then before we
Mm,
got to the question of, okay, what is wrong, where's it hurting? So yeah, like, I really, really want to say it again, like, and congratulate her because she has done a lot of work. She has put in a lot of work.
shout out to mommy.
She has put in a lot of work from when we were, kids to where we are
Yeah,
now, for real.
that's amazing. Like even myself listening to it, I'm really happy. So shout out to mommy. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say that um not being heard as a child and like having all of those little challenges that stemmed from communication, would you say it affected your romantic relationships in any
Mm-hmm.
way? Because people, get into relationships and they're not able to air how they feel, or it's not just about the communication. Because I've realized
Mm-hmm.
that one aspect of life opens the door for another thing. So aside from the fact that you're not communicating, there's also a part that you don't feel seen at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it can, evolve into low self-esteem and the rest. People have self-worth issues. So did that in any way affect any romantic relationship that you've ever had?
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I would say for sure. I think everything that happens in the family unit affects every area of your life. So it affects your view on love, except, like I said, except there is an intervention somewhere. But if there is no intervention, every aspect of your life, one way or the other, gets affected from what happens at the family unit, right? So, is it in relationships, right? Platonic relationships, just friendships generally, just dealing with people, your colleagues at the workplace. Like, it affects every area of your life. So, remember when, I came into Christ and I wanted to start, yeah, when I came to Christ, I'm like, okay, God, let's give us this man of God, right? And the Holy Spirit indulged me, and He's like, okay, just tell me the kind of guy you want to be with, and I'm just listing all of these persons, all these characteristics. I remember that year, and I'm just talking and talking. I think that was 2022, early 2022, and I'm just mentioning all of the things I want,
It was round
man
and
of God.
plump.
You just came into Christ, so everything is high. You're just talking, a man that did does this, does this, does this. And the Lord is like, if this person came, right, would you think they'll look at you and yes, yes, it's you I want? And
Ew.
I was humbled because in my mind I knew very well that I don't know what do I even have to offer that kind of person, right? So yeah, I think it was now a moment of pruning. So I think it's the same thing for this because I was broken, bruh. I insecurity. I was not confident. If I got on a stage, I could not, like, when you are handling the mic and your voice is singing another thing that you're singing. So it's like a
Wow.
lot of things. The Lord had to fix a lot. I was listening to this podcast and I heard I heard this man talk about his testimony on how he came into Christ. So he was talking about how his wife came into Christ and she gave her life to Christ when she was like 7 years old. Very easy. That time you don't even know anything, so you're just everything is just smooth. He was not like, and then there is us, right? That came into the kingdom of God broken and shattered. We literally
Hmm.
we leaped, when coming to Christ salvation, that's your saving grace. Like if you had left that place, you'll be dead. There's some of us that literally crawled in, right? That crawled into. So it was a situation of crawling in, and so the Lord had a lot to fix in me for real, like, and still does. So I know that a lot of that stemmed from the lack of love I thought I felt at home, right? And not being heard, and just the fact that I thought I did not have this love from my parents. I did not feel love, I did not feel seen, I did not feel heard. So it wasn't even if God brought the perfect man my way, all of these insecurities will still speak up, whether I like it or not. So that's why they say things like, make sure you are healed before you go to look for someone who is healed. Right? Every time I tried to get into a relationship prematurely without understanding fully what I was signing up for, of course these things will speak up. I'm not saying that, people that are broken the most, they are not supposed to be in a relationship, right? But I think I would just suggest, out of personal experience as well, that it's better you figure out yourself, because you cannot go and use another person's child to figure out what is happening with you. This is, you're dealing with hearts here. And in case I have used somebody's child to figure out my own thing, Lord, I'm sorry. Please forgive me if you're out there. But but yeah, I think it's really important that we take out the time to make sure that we are good, to the best of our knowledge. If like, even sharing with another person and let another person. I remember with you, I've come to you before and I was telling you something, and I remember I was trying to tell you, like, hey, listen, so I've been talking to this person, and you told me straight, like, you're like, nah, Favor, I don't think you should be thinking about that now. I want you to take out time to heal. I don't know if you remember that conversation. That you're like, I
Yeah.
want to take out time to heal first before you even talk about bringing in someone else into this mix, because clearly you have a lot going on in your head and you don't want something that someone else's child will come and be roped in that mess that you cannot even figure out. So even if this person is a good person, once they get into this mix that you don't even have figured out, it will be bad, right? So yeah. So I think having people around you as well that can tell you the truth regardless, it is really a blessing.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that and for also reminding me of some of our precious conversations. Thank you. Let me ask something from the humor box. So,
Okay.
what is your worst chore?
Oh
What is
my
your worst
God.
chore?
Washing plates, because we're a lot
Hmm.
stay at home. So that is it. But I feel now I'm used to it now, because you're in your own place and you have to wash after yourself. A household like mine, where we have like 4 children, then we have other people staying with us. If they eat and drop their plates, and
Now
in
you
that
go
kind of
wash am.
household, in that kind of household, everybody shouting, "Wash your plate after eating," but we never do. It's been 20 something years of being a part of that family and they still keep their plates. So it's a lot. It's a lot. So I'm grateful for my younger sister. She is the professional washer in the house currently. She's
And she's the last born, bah?
No, she's the second to the last. To have a younger brother.
Ah,
Yeah.
ah.
Yeah, but she's my only sister. So that
But
that
but but do
that
you
is it.
believe that washing plates is for the last borns? Because
No, for sure. No,
it's
for
a
sure.
problem.
Like that, I believe it is one of my principles in life, that as the last
But
born, you
wait,
must
wait,
wait.
wait first, wait. Who attributed washing plates to the last born? Because I want to understand
I don't
it.
know. I was not there when the rules were made, but I came to see like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The last borns for sure, they should. That's their duty. Okay, I did not come
Oh
before
my
you to
God.
be washing clothes for you. What's that? That's what's that
Ah,
now? Don't do
ah,
that. Don't do
justice
that.
for husbands. Justice for husbands, please. I had to ask because it's a thing, and this type of thing
Yeah,
actually causes conflict at home. Who left this
yeah.
plate here? Who did this one? Chores
Mm,
always cause conflict at home, and
right.
somebody will start beefing someone. They left, they poured sand on the floor. They did this, especially when somebody is mopping and you want to pass. Ah,
Yeah,
God.
yeah, for sure.
I think you've actually answered like a lot of the question in between discussion. So, but
Mm,
this is like a personal question to you.
okay.
What kind of parent do you think you would be?
Oh my God.
Because you don't know yet until you become, but
Oh my
based
God.
on what you've learned over time, based on what you've heard, you've seen, based on who you believe you are, what kind of parent do you think you'll be?
This is a very important question. I think even from the conversations I've shared with the Holy Spirit, I really just tell him truthfully that I cannot even be, the best parent without him. I think I've shared this with people before that there is no way you can do parenting without the help of God. It is such a vulnerable place to be at, somebody having to, to be responsible for a whole human being. Do you know what it feels like to be responsible for yourself, to think for yourself,
Mm,
to do all of these things for yourself, right? Then to think that you have three little humans calling you mommy, asking you questions, hoping that they get the right response, you know, looking at you and hoping to follow your lead and do what you do, not what you say. That is a lot of pressure. And it's pressure that only the Lord can help, relieve. The Bible tells us to, bring these things to Him, to bring it to Him, because and I'm telling you right now, that is the only hack. That is the only hack in my book to navigating parenthood. I'm telling you the truth. I may have all of these things written down, my do's that I would do with my children, but I think that is the one thing that tops it all. That I will make sure as long as God gives me grace to not do parenthood without Him.
okay, for real, thank you so much for sharing that with us. It's been fun to have you
Oh
on
my
the show,
God.
honestly. It's
Thank you,
been
ma.
fun. I really appreciate that you honored our invitation and
Thank you.
you've shared like delicate things. Lord
Mhm.
knows I would want like this to be longer so we can keep talking and talking. But there's only so much we can say. I say this a
Yeah.
lot. There's only so much we can say. It's left for whoever is listening
Mm-hmm.
to take what's useful or needful for them.
Mm.
If there's anything I can summarize from a lot of the things Favor has said, we started with asking her how communication was in her home and how it,
Yeah.
has now become. We've learned that
Yeah.
it has evolved over time, and thankfully things are getting better because there are families where things get worse. It doesn't
Right.
get better with
Right.
time. And then, the way we were scared of our parents, you're still scared even at this age. So, but then I'm
Mm-hmm.
really glad that things have evolved over time. I'm glad,
Mm-hmm.
according to what she said, her mom's relationship is great with her. Like they are close. She also talked about, the kind of parent she's going to be, but she didn't elaborate on that, but she just let us know that she's going to fully involve God, which I would always advise every parent to, because God knows the end from the beginning. We are
Mm-hmm.
actually limited as human beings. So if you're a Christian, let me talk like my last friend who came on the show. He said, "I'm sorry, I don't know what to say to anyone who is not a Christian, but everybody should follow the footsteps of Jesus." And yes, guys, I didn't say this at the beginning. So Favor here actually speaks to young girls, and because of her influence, a lot of those young ladies, you know, have like at least listened to somebody tell them that you are more than what you actually feel now. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we know you've not heard that you are loved, but know that life is worth more than just hearing that you are loved. So I'm
Yes.
truly happy that you are reaching out to these young ladies. Like,
Thank God.
thank you so much for doing this. Like from the family journal, you are making my heart glad. I just pray that like as many times
Amen.
as you come across young ladies that you have the wisdom to speak the right words to
Amen.
these ladies, that
Amen.
their heart actually receive the right message and the seed is
Amen.
sown and then just flourishes. That's my
Mm.
earnest desire. So favor, any final words for the community, like
For every community member that is listening in right now, know that I love you. And I believe also that for every time that we, gather here to listen in every Sunday, we know that God is, perfecting everything that He has started in each and our lives. So we have this opportunity to be part of something greater and bigger than us. So I love the family journal so much, and I am so, so honored, like I said, humbled even to be here. Thank you so much, Ma, for having me for sure. Like, I'm so, 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 so grateful. I love you so dearly. I know you know that.
hey, thank you so much, Faye, for being on Family Journal. The family loves you, and I love you personally. Thank
I love
you,
you more.
guys.
Yes.
You all know how we do it now. We'll see you when I see you.
Thank you for listening to the Family Journal. To share your story or your topics with us, reach out to us on familyjournalstories@gmail.com. If you want to keep it anonymous, you can reach out to us on Instagram at the Family Journal and get the anonymous link in our bio. Thank you.